Picture this: East Africa, 1916. The air is thick with heat and tsetse flies, and the distant crack of rifle fire echoes through the Miombo woodland. There are no trenches here. The battlefield stretches across hundreds of miles of bush and swamp, and at the center of it all are men carrying 60 kilograms on their backs, men who were never asked if they wanted to go. This is the story of over 2 million Africans, soldiers, porters, laborers, pressed into service by European colonial powers during the First World War. They are the forgotten soldiers, and the fieldcraft they developed to survive some of the most hostile terrain on Earth is a masterclass in human adaptability that every student of bushcraft and history must know. They moved through terrain that killed horses, mules, and motorized equipment, so they became the supply line themselves. Tsetse flies made draft animals and motorized transport useless across vast stretches of East Africa. The solution deployed by all sides was human muscle. Over 1 million black porters formed the logistical backbone of a war they had no political stake in. To survive, they read game trails as natural footpaths, conserving energy by following the Earth's contours. They knew which grasses indicated water underground and which berries could sustain a man when rations ran out. This was not classroom knowledge, it was generational indigenous fieldcraft now conscripted into a colonial war. Shelter, camouflage, and the art of disappearing. When night fell, soldiers constructed shelter fast and low, banana leaves layered like tiles over bent saplings, grass woven tightly around pole frames. The principle was always the same: build low and disappear. A shelter that catches the eye catches a bullet. Fires were dug into pits and ringed with damp leaves to suppress smoke and glow. This instinct for invisibility extended to the battlefield itself. African Askari fighters smeared uniforms and skin with river clay, matching the surrounding scrubland, and draped cut branches in deliberate imitation of local plant species. When a column halted, every man froze in unison, mirroring the height and silhouette of the bush, a light and shadow awareness born from generations of hunting, not from any military manual. Water, food, and staying alive. Disease and starvation killed more men than bullets ever did. African soldiers collected morning dew from tilted leaves, located water by following elephant trails, and dug into dry riverbeds where it pooled just below the surface. When rations failed, they foraged, identifying wild tubers, harvesting termite protein, smoking dried fish over small fires to preserve it for hard marching days ahead. Where the European soldier starved, the African porter with his ancestral ecological knowledge often found enough to keep moving. Legacy. What these men teach us today. The war ended, the borders were redrawn, and the men who had walked thousands of miles and kept armies moving through terrain that defeated every machine went home to silence. No mention in the Treaty of Versailles, no pension, no monument, yet their sacrifices seeded Africa's nationalist movements, the slow fire that eventually burned colonialism down. For the modern survivalist and bushcrafter, these forgotten soldiers are a masterclass. The deepest survival knowledge is not bought in a gear shop. It lives in the relationship between a people and their land, accumulated over centuries, carried not in bags, but in memory. When the systems fail and the maps are wrong, the person who survives is the one who knows their environment, not abstractly, but intimately. These men knew, and it is long past time we remembered them. Subscribe to Fieldcraft Chronicles. If this episode moved you, share it with someone who values history, self-reliance, and the art of survival. Every view keeps these forgotten stories alive.